Welcome back everyone, Sierra Nova here with Anime and Beyond, and today we're going to be going over some men that got done really dirty in anime. Now in most cases, anime can be straight perfection and a great escape, but even anime can be cruel at times, and we've seen that plenty of times, and we see that with several characters that I have lined up for you today. These are anime characters that even we feel bad for, and that speaks volumes. First case is pretty light, but I still think he got Hoed nonetheless, and we're going to be talking about Yancha from Dragon Ball Z. Now Yancha was one of those characters that started off cool, especially if he did things the right way and watched Dragon Ball first. However, somewhere in between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Yancha went from being cool to being the butt of all the jokes. I personally think it started the moment he lost to the Sablemen, and Sablemen are basically green, nasty looking humanoid creatures, and we first see them during the Saiyan saga. This was when Vegeta and Nappa came to Earth, and instead of directly taking on the Z-Fighters themselves at first, Vegeta basically threw these little things to the side and said, "Handle my light work." Ever since this moment when Yamcha was in that little crater and in the fetal position, he became a meme, and Yamcha kept taking constant L's. Now not only did he never live this moment down, but Yamcha basically lost his woman to the Saiyan that was responsible for his death, lost to a gravity machine, was the first one to get snuffed out during the Android saga, and Yamcha slowly watched Bulma have a family with Vegeta. Now Bulma is arguably one of the prettiest women of the series, and she's smart and rich. I honestly don't know how Yamcha messed this up or why he chose to, but like I said, ever since the Saiyan saga, things have been downhill for him. Since we're on the topic of Dragon Ball Z, we're going to go ahead and get into our next character, Vegeta. Now we all know that Vegeta does not belong on this list, but unfortunately we have to put him here because he keeps getting Hoed. This man is literally the prince of all Saiyans, and for the life of him he can't catch a break. This must be some kind of evil karma or something because he took Yamcha's girl. Like no matter what Vegeta does, he is always second to Goku, and even if he manages to close the gap, Goku ends up taking like 20,000 steps forward within the next few episodes. It'd be one thing if Vegeta wasn't Goku's rival, but Vegeta's literally supposed to be an equal to Goku, and he's not even that. An example of a good rivalry would be Sasuke and Naruto, Guy and Kakashi, Sanji and Zoro. Not this. To be honest, this is something I don't like about Dragon Ball Z, and it really bothers me, but at the end of the day, Vegeta does have the harder wife, so I guess he wins somewhere. Alright, so we kind of went through some of the lighter cases with anime men / characters getting Hoed. Let's bump things up a few notches with our next character. We're going to talk about the protagonist from the Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. hero. Basically, this guy is a university student just minding his own business. He stumbles upon a book about 4 heroes and is summoned from another world. What's crazy is that he's viewed as the weakest link of the 4 because a S.H.I.E.L.D. hero is supposedly the weakest because he just has a shield. Already, he doesn't really deserve this scrutiny because he didn't even ask for this. But then some people really had the nerve to look down on him when he's the hero and they're the fodder that needs protecting. I mean, I don't think people should really be picky about who's doing the rescuing. Kinda ungrateful if you ask me. Anyway, because of how weak they think the protagonist is, no one really wants anything to do with the S.H.I.E.L.D. hero. Not even the other heroes to an extent. Lo and behold, this beautiful woman approaches him and wants to work with him, and he gets Hoed even further because of her. I think this woman was a princess or something. I'm gonna be honest, princesses or anyone with princess in their name typically screams problems. That was a red flag right there. Let's keep in mind that our protagonist doesn't want to be there already, nor did he ask for this, and as soon as he gets there, he deals with some BS scrutiny. Malty, the princess, then makes things worse by taking his money and then lying on him in the worst way possible, falsely accusing him of a pretty detestable thing. Not gonna lie, from this moment on, I did not like her because that's not something you go claiming and spreading willy-nilly, especially if it's not true. And I'd argue that because women or men do things like this and lie about something so serious, sometimes that makes it hard to believe other cases that happen or come out. Kinda like the boy who cried wolf. Anyway, to this day, I still do not like Malty, and she's the reason why our S.H.I.E.L.D. hero protagonist is on this list. She did him very dirty. Okay, so if you guessed that Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul was on this list, then you are definitely right. So far, I can't think of another anime guy that can top what Kaneki has had done to him. So last but not least, let's get into why he's on this list. So anyway, when we meet Kaneki, he's a human and he seems pretty timid and a little on the shy side, which aren't typical characteristics of our male protagonist for anime, but it's definitely not uncommon. Anyway, Kaneki was living a pretty normal life, right? He was a student at a university, completely unbothered and minding his business. We quickly realized that Kaneki has a thing for books, but I'm going to tell you where he messed up at. Kaneki messed up by getting distracted by the wrong woman one day, and her name was Rize. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Rize, she was gorgeous, so I'm not even gonna fault Kaneki for being attracted to her. But as much as I don't want to say this, some men gotta realize that there's different level of problems with different levels of beauty, as we clearly see here. Anyway, one day, he offered to walk her home, or somehow they end up walking home together, I can't remember. Little did Kaneki know, his whole life was gonna change from this point on, all because he found a woman attractive and he wanted to do something nice. She attacked him and was actually known as a binge eater. He almost lost his life, but the next time he came to, it was no longer as a human, but as a one-eyed ghoul. Kaneki had went through some kind of transplant to save his life. Now, I don't know about the manga, which is probably a lot worse as far as what Kaneki went through, but in the anime, his life fell apart so quickly. It took Kaneki a while to find himself, and he went through some pretty messed up things that made me cringe. He lost his taste, which was actually on the lighter side of everything that he's been through. He ended up encountering Jason in pure torture from that point forward. Kaneki definitely went through hell and back, and then through hell again. What happened to Kaneki tops what happened to anyone else in this list, and probably across the board with anime. Now, if you think of someone that got Hoed worse than Kaneki, then please let me know down below in the comments. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Sierra Nova is out.